Am I correct about that?
That's a little too much there at the end for me to process that.
About the bonds, so the banks, when you borrow money from the bank, right? You put money into a bank, they can loan out 10x, 10 times down.
Hmm.
Okay, and so the way they back that up is with bonds,
Hmm.
and that reciprocates the proportional relationship with them with the 10x.
Got it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the whole thing is though, like, we're not unwinding that, and the banking monopoly and banking in our lives and the dollar or the treasury essentially, it's not going away. So, like you said, that essentially they're doing cost benefits analysis, but you think it should just be a plug-in. It shouldn't actually take over the role of the plug, or I mean the outlet. It shouldn't be the outlet. It should
It
remain the
shouldn't be
plug.
the administrative factor. Yeah, it shouldn't be the. That should be done by consensus also.
How can it be done by consensus though? This is not a true democracy. It's just not. I mean, I mean, what do you know about republicanism? Like, what is republicanism? Isn't it just
Well, I don't.
executive? Isn't it just executive decision making, or executive orders, or essentially authoritarianism?
I mean, I don't think that we have to go strictly authoritative. I think that we can have a group of bodies that have different sets of responsibilities that oversee the system and have different roles in that systematic flow, as well as the citizenry having a voice too, and impulse are compelling that system forward or backwards, or to the side or to the right or left. So that's what I think is democracy. I think democracy is where where there's a leveraged or there's a distributed, aggregated impulse across the population, and that there's also some extra impulse and less friction for those who serve in marginalized communities.
So, do you think
So yeah,
the stock market correction is more than just a correction? That this could be a financial collapse of the U.S. dollar?
I think the stock market is definitely a strong message that, and also it's going to have ripple effects and hard fiscal policy. Yeah, implant. Yeah, I guess the answer to your question is that I don't think it's. I mean, stock market. I think it's corrective by nature.
Right.
I, yeah, I think it's corrected by nature. But I think that the residual of the stock market will be felt by Americans. Yeah. I mean, you know, billionaires, right, uh, becoming a less exclusive class than yesterday, will are most affected right now. How will that then turn into, or can that be offset? If I lost one third or half my value, am I going to do something about that? That might affect the general population. What can I do? You know, what some people can do in the meantime for their investors is that they can downsize, right? Because this wouldn't be right sizing because they were already right sized because they already, like a lot of tech companies, had already hemorrhaged pre-COVID days 20 to 70% of their workforce. You can check that on layoffs.fyi. And then in this case, they're already hopefully at the right size or close to it. But now they're gonna hemorrhage more jobs because they want their balance sheets to be less, less worse than they are because they want to keep their investors.
Yeah, the one thing I don't like about job cuts is that's punishing people now for fraud, waste, and abuse that has happened for 20 years. And so it's very hypocritical to put somebody, in the streets because they spent on, fraud for the past 4 years, past 10 years, past 20 years. That's just not fair. However, if it, if they don't want to be hypocrites, well then you know what they have to do? They have to go fully libertarian, in my opinion. Like, they have to actually stop the ship and start shutting it down instead of trying to turn it back or to try to repair it. It's too far beyond repair. I mean, honestly, I think we need, if this is a real liberation and a real revolution, we need an actual bankruptcy. And we need to declare to all of our lenders around the world that we are essentially resetting the debt and that we are issuing the money. Or what we're going to do is we're actually going to issue checks to every single American and flush every non basically we're going to put everybody who's not an American in the poorhouse in the country internally. This is like a radical revolutionary theory of modern fiscal economic policy, but it's all just a scam on top of the scam, meaning that instead of fucking ourselves, we fuck the Chinese, we fuck the Japanese, we fuck the English, we fuck the Germans. And we essentially declare a new constitution, a new revolution. And we just, and
Did
we,
we do that with the war, with the war against the British after the war against the British? Didn't we like, or was it the after the war with the British when the French had loaned us the money?
no,
Didn't we
but
like fuck the French?
no, well, why do you think the British withdrew from all their territories? Because it's too expensive to administer all these governments around the world. What did they do instead? They just left the banks. The banks are technically the government. And the lawyers at the banks are technically the government. The judges, the lawyers, they're the ones who determine whether or not you're a slave, a prisoner. And so, what I'm saying is, if we were really free in this country, we would not have allowed the Federal Reserve to come into existence. And every
Right,
American would have been a prince. Instead, we sold our birthright back to the English in the form of modern banking. And
right.
that's an
Federal
opinion.
Reserve and those fact 15, and then those 15 just was Bank of England, Rothschild, kind of funneled it. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's a semi excellent idea.
It's a good idea. That's true freedom, but nobody wants to talk about that. They just want to
Right.
correct. They just
I've
want to
not
put
heard
in.
that before.
They just want to plug the
Yeah.
boat. They just want to keep filling the gaps. But that's the unfortunate thing. It's a theory, But listen to
But
this.
China,
Wait, hold on. Why are we spending
okay.
$60 billion a year to collect 5 trillion in taxes? I mean, do you even know what that return on investment is? And then the second part is, if we can just create fake money, why do we even have to file income taxes and pay taxes when all they have to do is create $5 billion in fake money annually and stop taxing us? If it's, you see what I'm saying? This is what people are complaining about, is the creation of money versus the taxation. If they're going to spend $2 trillion that they don't collect, just stop collecting and just print the fake money. You see what I'm saying? Like, we don't have to do some type of a revolution. We just have to get Congress to spend like drunken sailors and keep pretending and scamming everybody. It's a scam, because in the end, we're never going to pay it back anyways. And the future generations aren't going to want to pay it back to begin with. So, what I'm saying is, either we shut the scam down or we expand the scam. Like, there's no in between. Otherwise, we're fucking ourselves. I'm just saying,
Right,
that would be a true America First policy, is to
right.
amplify and expand the scam, or shut the scam down and become
Should
honest
have been
again.
done in 2000 with the humming, what do you call that? Remember the humming savings thing? Before the subprime thing even happened. Savings and loan. That showed us with the internet bubble and stuff. That showed us that was just so many indicators about we were being scammed. Then we had the subprime with all those derivatives. It's like these financial instruments are just over liquidating us. And like you're saying, I think that with these departmental things, I just don't think that using a bludgeoning weapon is good, and we should use a scalpel. It's just more about because I'm like a tinkerer, I'm
Mhm.
a mechanic, I'm a technician. I'm like looking at those kind of details, but I do like the outcome of your plan, of what you're suggesting.
See, the scalpel versus the club, it's got to be a combination of both, because it's whack-a-mole. Some of these agencies
But
should
this
be
time,
clubbed to death.
it's sort of not as much of an impact.
I mean, you don't agree that the
Well,
CIA,
yeah.
Do you think the CIA should be scalpeled or clubbed to death? Like, do you think the NSA should be scalpeled or clubbed to death? Do you think the Federal Reserve? It's just a question of opinion. But none of these agencies are. Some of them are getting clubbed to death. Like USAID. But these things aren't in our Constitution. Thus, it's under the purview of our executive to say whether or not they exist. And if you go against what he says, well, then now you're finding yourself on the wrong side of the law. So that's life. Republican comedian, though, that's an oxymoron. Hey, Aleph. Can you hear me better in this room? So why do you go by the name Aleph? I mean, are you a magician? Can you hear me? I can't hear you. I don't know if you have a mic issue right now, but Dr. John has arrived. Dr. John, welcome. Cool Cars.
What's up, man?
So you're still doing polyurethane ethylene welding?
Yeah, it's high density polyethylene. Yeah, all sorts of plots. But right now I'm kind of going full bore. I just do that on the side, but I'm trying to do that eventually full time. But I'm going full bore with this landscaping company. I kind of got moved up a little bit and shit. They want me to train as a sprinkler tech, but that just helps me make money, like helps me build my business.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get a garage and shit, like just got.
Don't waste your time or money on doing this physical manual stuff. You got to understand, real business is information technology. I know you like the physical and material, but it's not expansive enough in terms of, making money. The real money is in digital information technology in terms of just communication. I mean, even politics.
I'm not sure how to do that though, man. Like, so break that down for me. How can I do that?
I mean, it's just basically cell phones and books and politics, or philosophy. So, I've never heard. I mean, if you create a room, and you read the Bible, like, I'll listen to it. That would be an example of information technology. Unfortunately, this app, as you know, people are really wasting their time and not actually making money or preparing for the future. So you're a prime example of someone, in my opinion, who has great potential, but you're not going to do the work required to obtain that potential. A lot of this is just digital footprints and basically influencer communication. You have that opportunity and availability. You spend enough time here where if you were to essentially be more organized and build out your brand, digitally, you could have something, in the future to fall back on. And that could be politics, that could be education, because the future economy, it's going to be very fragmented. Like, we're so broke that education is going to go online, transportation, like everything. I mean, literally the work from home revolution is going to come back because the transportation network is bullshit. Like, nobody actually needs to leave their house to do a communications job. See what I'm saying? All these people that have to go back to work to the offices, they only have to go there because of protocol. Because all of these people at all of these organizations, including banking, they're really just in communication technology. They don't actually make anything. That's why I say your desire to build things in a workshop, it's not gonna survive because everybody else is involved in communication making. So you need to work on basically the communication creation, in my opinion. It's a theory. I'm not saying I'm right, but it's a theory.
No, I mean, I think you're kind of ahead of your time a little bit. You're kind of looking ahead. You are Jewish, so I gotta.
I'm not Jewish. Are you Jewish?
Oh, you're not? No.
Oh, I'm not Jewish. My mom's not Jewish.
Oh, I thought you were Jewish. Oh, well, that's a little bit, I thought I was getting some good Jewish information here. But anyway, I think you are right, though, to a point there. I've tried to do YouTube in the past, it was, man, that's a lot of work. I mean, it takes years, years to be able to do something, and it would have paid off, but this is where I was running into a problem. I liked experiencing things, and when I would go out and boat and do all these extreme things, at first I did it because I loved it, and then it started to become where I was more excited about what people's reaction would be. Like, as soon I'm doing this badass fucking thing, heading up this river and these rapids with this boat, and I'm in, one of the most beautiful places in the world. I should be living in the now, but instead I'm filming it, and I'm anticipating what people's reaction would be more than the actual experience. So I had to put it down. I had to stop. And so I guess if I could get past that, that's literally why Demolition Ranch stopped filming too. He basically said the same thing. For years he's had it just to change your life, man. And it's tough, and it maybe eventually does pay off, but it's the digital age is kind of a hollow, soulless world, and it's not always so fun when you're in it for views and clicks and for money. It becomes a job.
But the point is, it's actually about also making you a better public speaker and a better communicator. Imagine if you were the CEO of a large manufacturing company. You wouldn't sound the way you sound right now. You wouldn't talk about the things you talk about right now. A lot of this is performative arts, and it's about education and intelligence. So information technology is not just hardware and software, it's actually your brain. So that's why I say you come on this app and you opinionate and you pontificate in terms of rhetoric. What you're doing is rhetoric, but you're not actually educating yourself. So all I could encourage you to do, Dr. John, is to do what I do. I mean, I troll a lot and I roast a lot, but I also spend a lot of time reading books on this app and creating YouTube recordings of book readings. And so what I've been doing is essentially educating myself, increasing my intelligence, and ingesting a lot of concepts and new words, new vocabularies, whether it's in English or in other languages, but primarily all in English. So, this is really about your opportunities and what you choose to do or what you don't know what you could do. And so I would just encourage you, ping me to a room or come to my room and say, okay, I got the book of Ecclesiastes. I want to read it because you need to work on your reading comprehension, your reading capabilities, and thus that'll translate out to your communication, how you regurgitate it and how you speak. So if you want to become a more proficient speaker, but basically what I'm really trying to tell you is like, if you want to be a great actor on the stage of life, you have to continue to work on your communication capabilities, your communication information technology, which is essentially IT, information technology. You need to work on the information that you're ingesting and the information that you're outputting. So that's my advice to you in the dollar emoji Republican Comedy House room by Republicans.
Okay, all right, yeah.
I've told you this before. I mean, you told me you were reading, but the thing is, don't read the Bible off Clown House. Come onto Clown House, read the Book of Solomon, read Ecclesiastes, read Psalms, read it, and you'll be amazed at what it does for your psychology, for your own mood, for your attitude, and for your personality. All this is personality development training. That's all this really is. I encourage you to do it.
Right.
You probably won't do it because you're lazy and you just like the dopamine hits. You just come to dope up. But the problem is the people that come to dope up in these rooms, you're a dope. That's the problem is you just stay dopish. You're a dope addict.
Well, no, I've learned to. I'll definitely do some research, watch some news, check some topics, do my regular news before I just come on here. I stay away from fighting, if I can, because there's no value to that. I generally just come here for sometimes dopamine, yes. sometimes it's information, like here's the thing, man, is I'm among a bunch of
Wait, hold on. Before you go any further, just repeat back to me what you think I just told you, because I want to see if your brain is even, listening. Go ahead.
what you just told me.
Yeah, can you just summarize and compress everything I just said to you? Go ahead.
Starting from where? Starting from the beginning? You want me to basically start reading books more, taking information, doing more research before I just come on here and having intelligent conversations. And you assume that I just come on here, I believe, to just have an intelligent conversation. I don't try to do that. There's just a lot of unintelligent conversations.
I know, but what is the point of reading these books online? I mean, what are you trying to improve?
If I'm reading them, so I'm trying to not just talk out of my ass.
No, it's about improving you. It's about making your brain smarter, healthier, stronger, more capable,
right.
but being more aware of how you're wasting your time.
Well, I don't actually consider it wasting my time if you get on here and just get to the meat and potatoes and actually have a conversation. You get off. If you're like these other people, you'll notice, man. I mean, when I'm laid off in the wintertime, yeah, I'll be on here for a little bit longer. But during the summertime, man, I'm fucking working. 2 jobs. I work a lot. I have 2 days off now. But I'm doing laundry and shit. And, yeah, doing my life. I don't know. I try to have direction with my life. I don't just like to waste time. I really don't. And if it's a time waster, I just gotta chillism because I don't know what the fuck they're even arguing about. Semantics of this conversation. They're just arguing about words.
There you go.
Like you're talking about words. It's crazy.
Wordsworth. Do you even know who Wordsworth is?
It's crazy.
Have you ever heard of the author Wordsworth?
What?
Have you ever heard of the author Wordsworth?
No.
I mean, the thing is, I don't know if it's his real name, the worth of words, but what I'm trying to tell you is books are like talking to people on this app, but you're not talking to a moron. You're talking to an incredibly ingenious book, which is a technology. And so this app truly is hell. It is hell. The people in this app are contained in a genie bottle known as hell. This app is a pit. That's why I say use it wisely. You can use it to play audiobooks, you can use it to read books. It's a question of how you're spending your time here and whether or not you really think you're benefiting from it. And in my opinion, you're not benefiting from it at all. This is a friendly message to you because, I know you're an American.
Yeah.
And I know you're a good person, so.
Is this good for you yourself? Because I've had my concerns about you myself. Is this healthy for you? Because,
No, it's not. I got things I got to do today.
That's what I'm saying. This app is generally not that healthy unless we have constructive conversations like this. I feel like this is a constructive conversation.
I know.
We're talking about things that are.
Okay,
it's kind of what I like to do.
Okay, I'm going to read to you just a few quick notable quotes by William Wordsworth, known for his romantic poetry and focus on nature. Nature never did betray the heart that loved her. The child is father of the man. The world is too much with us, late and soon. The world is too much with us, late and soon. Getting and spending, we lay waste our powers. Come forth into the light of things. Let nature be your teacher. I wandered lonely as a cloud. That best portion of a good man's life, his little nameless, unremembered acts of kindness and of love. Poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. It takes its origin from emotion recollected in tranquility. The good die first, and they whose hearts are dry as summer dust burn to the socket. Habit rules the unreflecting herd. That's a good one. Habit rules the unreflecting herd. Wisdom is oftentimes nearer when we stoop. The mind of man is 1,000 times more beautiful than the earth on which he dwells. Bliss it was in that dawn to be alive, but to be young was very heaven. So what I'm saying is, time is words. Like the amount of time that you spend here processing huge transcripts of information from people debating, you just have to look at this as like you're a computer system, and all the words that you're feeding into your system every day from this app, it's not going to essentially get you where you'd like to go because it's bad programming. That's the theory. That's the communication theory of this app, and that's why I can claim it's hell.
Well, I don't. I go on here for different things. I can tell I'm being recorded, by the way, because I can hear an echo. But I don't really give a fuck if you're recording me. I assume everybody's recording me on this app. I don't really put that in my head, though. I guess I don't act different. For me, it's definitely helped for having a neutral, safe space to be able to talk politics and religion. Because, man, I mean, I've gotten in fistfights over religion. I had a guy punch me, this atheist punched me in the face one time, and I had to beat his ass. Man, it wasn't cool. I've gotten threatened with being fired last year. This little liberal fucking bitch, because we were talking politics, a bunch of us. And the one motherfucker basically went and told the boss that he felt uncomfortable and he was going to leave. And so the boss had to have a big old talk with all of us, no politics. And they fucking reminded us again this year. And that guy just got fucking fired, thank God, because he's a little bitch. He just got a bad attitude, I just don't understand, and so you don't have to get, attacked here or fired or, deal with that shit. You can actually have a neutral conversation. It's a confidence builder for some people. It's a neutral space for other people. It's nice to be able to come here and talk and not have to worry about, that bullshit. Because that's not fun, man. I have to talk politics with people. It's been in my DNA. My grandfather used to go down to, my great-grandfather used to go in Belfast, South Dakota, and talk politics with the old-timers. My father, or his father, my grandfather is part of the John Birch Society. He talks politics. My dad we talk politics, but when you're in a liberal fucking safe haven, it's not always the best thing to do. And I am in a liberal safe haven. I don't like to be in echo chambers. So I tend to go where there's lots of opposition, and there's just, and also in my state, there's just more opportunities in this one city that I'm at, So, but anyway, so I don't have to worry about a bunch of bullshit, It's just nice to be able to talk politics, religion, and then sometimes just have a conversation with some people. Humans need that, They do. I don't have a wife. I don't have a kid. I have a dog, and it's nice to be able to talk conversation. There's also some people on here that obviously need it too. I'm not going to name names. It's nice to be able to get in their psyche, understand what they're thinking. I can listen to the left. I can listen to the right. I can listen to racists. I can listen, black supremacists, Hebrew Israelites, Jewish people, Palestinians, Muslims. I can even go on X and listen to straight Aryan excellence rooms, which they're completely fucking retarded, but it's still nice to be able to have ascending opinions, man. If you just read books and watch videos, you'll tend to confirm your own bias because humans are inherently biased. So, this helps you maybe not be so biased, have different opinions, get different opinions, and it's nice to be able to be challenged. Humans don't like that. I do like to be challenged. And so this is a great place for that. So I think it does grow people. And there's also blind people on here who don't talk to people, who don't get that visual aspect. Steve, that Uncle Steve, the motherfucker is almost blind. He can't drive. He can't do anything. He's completely blind, visually challenged. There's a couple of other people like that too. So I don't know. I think there is some benefits to this shithole, even though there's a lot of dumpster fires on here, bro.
No, I mean, I agree with all that. But I'm just still saying that, like, it's like coming to school and refusing to use books, refusing to write papers, refusing to give speeches. Everyone is just, it's just unacademic, it's unprofessional, and it's just all road raging people. It's really more insight into the human, like into human psychology than it is into actual intelligent communication.
And that's what you got to benefit from it. You get a glimpse into the human psyche. You get a glimpse into people, how they group together and act. The black community certainly concerns me. I mean, they try to say that not everybody acts, a certain way, but what I see on this app is a lot of overwhelming victimhood from the black community on here. And it scares me, it helps me understand why their community is suffering so bad. Because if they believe, as such large numbers on this app, that they're all just dire straits,
I'm just still saying
I can't help but think that they're probably convincing their kids at a young age of the same thing. Black women are convincing their young children that basically they're handicapped. And that's what this guy was telling me yesterday. It's almost like missing a leg. And that literally told me yesterday, being a black person is like missing a leg. And I said, so you're telling your children that? I said, no, yeah, you are. Because if you're that's what you're doing. And so this is what's happening. This is why your people are suffering, because you're convincing everybody, even the young children, that they ain't got a fucking chance in the world. And basically they have a handicap. So it helps me there too. But what I will say here, man, is when I first got on this app, I was not practiced with debate. I used to be on stereo, and I was on a lot of Adderall then, and I was like, pretty fast, good debater, but I quit taking Adderall because I didn't like it. And, it took me a year to get over kind of not taking Adderall, like mentally. My brain was slow. My thought was slow. I was kind of depressed. When I got on this app, I got into debates with people like fucking Brad and motherfuckers that really challenged me. And my lips were not as fast. My speech, my desire for debate, my desire for information was not there. I wasn't practiced, and I got fucking drugged through the mud and hammered and spit out. I got, what do they call that? When basically you get destroyed in debates. I mean, it happened numerous times because I was not well practiced, not well versed. And I started challenging myself. I kept on going back to these rooms. I kept on, just all of a sudden I was desiring more information. I quit taking, and it helped my lips, my voice, my brain heal, and I'm back at it, and I feel like I'm performing better than ever, even though I might not be the smartest guy in the world, whatever, but it's helped me with my brain and with my thoughts, with everything. It's been a frustrating motherfucker on here for sure, but I've dramatically improved, dude, from when I first got on here to where I would almost get shut down to where I couldn't even debate. And I'll run into people like that who come on here, they're new, they try to challenge someone who's a veteran, who's been on here for a lot, and they shut down. They bow out, they leave, because they're not practiced yet. And a lot of people won't come back, but if they do come back, it will help them. They'll be better off. So I don't know. You just got to be tough on this bitch and throw out the dumpster fires and benefit and take the good from them. It's a really good glimpse into the human psyche for sure. It helps my lips, my voice, I mean, you're an experiment. I mean, I've never ran into someone like you myself, dude. Like, I've ran into some fucking trolls before. Okay, but you were a good troll. You're pretty good, and you're resilient. I'm telling you, I've been on stereo, I've been on Clubhouse, and you're pretty good, you know. But people value your information because you are a pretty smart troll. I think you're studying the human psyche more than anything, you know. So.
Fizen. So, I mean, I support Elon Musk. Do you support Elon Musk?
Yeah, I do. You know, there's always the possibility he could be, you know, bringing in the age of the Antichrist, but, you know, I mean, that's always a possibility anyway. But, you know, China's been doing it too and stuff. But I think generally Elon Musk is a good dude who just happens to be. Why we think he's so strange is because we're used to billionaires and rich people not giving a fuck about us and going into obscurity. He's challenging the system. He's doing something different. He doesn't give a fuck what people say, and he's trying to actually, from all appearances, try to help us out, you know? And that's just alien to people. I am a supporter of Elon Musk. You know, until I see otherwise, why wouldn't you be? I don't understand, you know, I have a liberal friend 10 years ago. He was bitching about how bad we were off, electrical wise, electrical cars. We didn't have people like, you know, in China. He was praising China for how good they were with their electrical, you know, ambitions. Elon Musk wasn't even really big then, you know, at all. And so, if we would have had an Elon Musk, he would have been cheerleading this motherfucker. All of a sudden, the politics come in, and now he's demonized. I've talked to him about it. He claims Elon Musk isn't even that smart. And I've tried to tell him, like, ask him, like, being honestly, completely unbiased here, being objective, bro, you know he's smart. He's smarter than the average person. He's sending rockets to space, you know, and he tries to say, no, it's not him. It's his engineers. Well, I tell him, he is the chief engineer. Look it up, dude. He just can't stand it. But Elon Musk is doing this stuff. The liberals lose their brain when fucking, you know, when this shit comes out. It's ridiculous. But this also helps me, man. I get a glimpse in the left that really is beneficial, you know.
One of my YouTube fans wrote, oh my God. Fuck, I'm getting roasted. He wrote, imagine being a conservative and complaining about people being unacademic. He'd lose it. Man's lost everything important to him in his life. His career never stood a chance. The realization that until you're able to change into a fresh pair of shoes, you have to walk around with a wet sock and soggy shoes. Speaking of wet socks, you're about as entertaining as one. Hey, John, make a joke. You're allegedly a comedian. Oh shit, I think my car alarm is going off.
Make a joke, huh? Dude,
Wasn't my car. I like how people, I really love it when people roast me. You know, that means that like I've actually connected with that person because they want to get some lick back, as they like to say here on Clown House. You know, I don't know. You can't actually make an omelet without cracking eggs. Wouldn't you agree, Dr. John?
yeah, definitely. I'm getting some food, so just being quiet for a minute. Into beer, but I quit taking Adderall because I don't like it. It's not that great. Gotta let me finish here.
Okay, we're going into Dr. Benji's house.
Honestly. Right. You based on your opinion.
The game continues.
What's comedy?
I came here to make a couple jokes to make you smile for the rest of your life. Dr. Benji's a silent observer.
Apparently, I can't allege that I'm a comedian unless I make jokes and make people laugh and smile on demand. Apparently, comedians can only exist for a brief moment in time. They can't be eternal.
I concur. No, jokes are forever. You don't think so?
Well, they say all communication is hypnosis, but I like to say all communication is comedy. And Benji is the observer. Dr. Benji, who is the key master? It's like another way of saying who is the puppet master of the puppet masters.
Yeah, I know context clues.
Kick myself by accident. You agree me.
Well, it's been an early morning of trolling already. We've roasted Honey Badger. Honey Badger had an emotional moment today, this morning. He's very upset.
Are you a man of God? Comedy?
Envy, kick yourself. I don't want to make the title and people think it's about you. You said Honey Badger did what?
Oh, he just had a very emotional moment in the chat. I had to reframe his projection as projection, and then he reframed my projection as projection, and then I reframed his projection about my projection, that it was all a projection.
I see the Israeli flag behind you. Are you a man of God?
Yes, indeed.
Amen. Amen. Shalom alaikum.
Yashikola Rabbuna Shalom Adonai Elohim.
Praises Elohim, Elohim. Amen, amen.
Wait, Jack, you're a black girl that knows a lot about Judaism and then comedy comedian.
My grandmother's Jewish.
Oh, so you a black ass nigga that knows Judaism. That's what's up, nigga.
What's up, nigga? What's up, Negro? I'm European, Jewish, Asian, and African. And I'm Trinity, Trinidadian, Egyptian, Congolese, Nigerian. I'm all over.
Oh, but your voice does sound way more black, though, so that's cool.
Oh, yeah, I'm a black woman. At the end of the day, honey.
Listen, I love black women under two circumstances. If they can booty clap that ass, booty clap that ass, booty clap that ass, and then wait, the second one is if they clean their pussy very well. That's it, man. That I like to
all
watch.
black women are clean.
Hell no, they're dirty as fuck. They smell
No,
like
you're
shit.
disgusting. You're disgusting.
Yeah, man, STDs, man. Are you kidding me?
Yo, you're crazy, dog.
They got everything under the sun. Gonorrhea, AIDS, all that shit.
I'll pray for you. Pray for you.
Their pussy smells like fucking onions in it. It smells worse than Indians. Shit.
So, Tony, what you're saying is you don't like black women's vaginas, but what is it about a black woman that you do like?
No. I like everything about them, but when they smell like shit and they can't do basic self-care and regular hygiene, That's disgusting. And a lot of the ones from the hood can't do that. They don't know how to do that. Also, even the ones outside of the hood smell like shit. They're disgusting. They never shower. So it's just nasty.
Do you think that you are possibly suffering from a derangement syndrome?
Hell no. I'm positive of this shit, bro. And they also have like high STD rates, just like black guys do too as well. So it's pretty bad.
And you're 100% certain about this?
Yes, I'm positive about this, bro.
You're not trying to be a comedian, right?
No, and I'm not trying to be racist either. I'm from Africa, so I'm already immune to racism. I can't be accused of racism.
So what you're saying is you love the Jews.
Say, yo, come on, my nigga, what the fuck you want, man? Shit.
My pray for your mother.
The ones outside of the hood.
Cindy? Is that Cinderella?
Dr. Nat, I'm Dr. Nat.
Hey, baby girl, how you been? It's Black. Add me back. This is my new account.
Cindy, do you booty clap that ass as well?
I'm working on it. I still haven't really achieved all the whole clap, but it's almost there.
Well, you sound like you're Latina, so Latinas are very capable of booty clapping that ass.
Yeah, when I just fast on a decline because motherfuckers are working out on the gluteus maximus, motherfuckers, buns get stopped and hit. You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna be a sperm with this shit. The whole clap don't happen. It's like a flap. It's not a clap. It's not a full clap. It's a flap.
Oh, yeah. The flaps are sexy, though. Those are sexy.
The flaps are in, bro. They're in, bro. When you hit it,
Full
you know what I'm
story
saying?
is he predicted AI before AI was predictable.
Yeah, I know I'm crazy.
Anyway, how you been?
Just trying to come together like butt cheeks, but they keep spreading us apart. Y'all ain't trying to come together like butt cheeks.
Hey, Cindy, I think you're a New Yorker, right?
You know, I'm from Oakland.
Oh, you're a Cali girl. Okay. For a second, I thought you were a New Yorker.
What's a Cali girl?
Like a Valley girl. California.
Oh, Cali. Oh, I guess
California.
not like you said Kelly. I'm like, who's Kelly?
I'm getting high off my dad pen. God is good.
That is good.
So what do you think? Do you think that people in the U.S. government have been compromised by Jeffrey Epstein?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay, if you guys want to know the real truth about the whole entire world dynamics right now and what's actually going on with all the governments of the world,
What are you, a Freemason?
no, I'm gonna tell you right now, there are Freemasons in every single government, right? And they're all controlled by the Jews. The Jews control every government. They even control the Muslim countries, by the way, right?
Of course.
And the Jews want to destroy the white man and white peoples and any kind of like ancient Indo-European types of peoples. They want to destroy them, and they're doing it very successfully.
That's right. We all come from old money, all of us. We all come from the oldest money. And they said, that's a real joy. All of it is real. Believe it. Believe it. I'm Jewish and I'll tell you, that shit is real. All of it. The tunnels, all of it.
The problem is when they try to destroy white people, the world becomes one big jungle. So
I see, that was our blessing in the Bible and the Torah and the we were supposed to control the media and the money in the world.
Good thing I was upset with the gorillas.
Oh, you like gorilla monkey, Cindy?
No, you said it was a jungle. I said, but I've been outside with the gorillas.
So you like gorillas? You like getting the gorilla D in your booty hole?
What? Excuse me, sir. Are you African?
I like the gorillas, the man.
Yes, I am African. I have every right to say that.
Right. So that's why I was just making sure.
I like the man, the gorillas. I like the man, the gorillas.
So if I'm not from Africa, I'm not allowed to say that?
No, you are from Africa. So
Y'all don't even know about gorillas.
Because you're acting real African right now.
God. Do I get the gorilla pads?
You're acting real African right now.
So do I get the gorilla pads?
So I'm a little confused here. I hate to interrupt again. Why is it that you think the Jews control not only the Muslim countries, but also the Freemasons in every government?
Yeah, because they're imbeciles.
So the reason why I think that is because, bro, right now, all the European governments, when you see them, they all want to destroy Christians and whites in Europe. And how are they doing that? They keep how do they do that? They keep shipping in bitch-ass Muslims. And do you know who the biggest slaves of the Freemasons are? The bitch-ass Muslims.
They're Muslims. It's always been that way from the beginning.
I just figured out that Freemasons are the slaves of elites. Think about it.
Man, fucking slime, nigga, with the haram, with the haram.
Taking with me.
Fuck the haram. I'm not supposed to have sex with
It's the fly.
I want to make a quick announcement to all the Muslims. To all the Muslims in the room, I want to let you know that I am halal and you can eat me. I am blessed, okay?
It's the fly, sister. It's the fly.
Oh, yeah, I love halal.
It's the fly.
You can eat my pussy. I'm halal. Don't worry about it.
I rebuke that in the name of Jesus.
With no sauce.
Man, I'm down to do it. It tastes good and it's clean and it's not old, you know?
I'm
We're slick money.
And I want to eating a pussy. Oh, God, that's so amazing. Oh, yeah.
Halal. It's a joke, bro. It's okay. He said he wasn't Muslim, but I still left the bacon.
Yeah, okay. No eat bacon.
Salami and bacon. Salami and bacon.
Keep it halal.
Listen, Assalamu alaikum.
Salami and bacon.
Assalam, baby. Assalam, sister.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace be with you, brother. It's the fly. It's the fly.
Yeah, I love the Jack Grant because Jack is so
You got it.
What'd you say, brother?
That's the most important thing in life. You need some pussies.
I'm what?
You need some money in life, you know?
Oh no, y'all shut up. What'd you say, Tony?
Oh no, I just said you're showing the true face of Islam.
Oh, yeah, of course. Prophet Muhammad rapes little girls.
Yeah, who gives a shit, man? I don't give a shit.
That's right.
I become my own prophet. Fuck that shit.
He also got fucked in the ass by his own soldiers and the people that surrounded him. He was gay. There was many hadiths showing he was a homosexual. And they still got the nerve to be like, oh man, this guy's so homosexual.
Ew. That's who represents you. That's who looks like you.
Women look
I don't
at
give a
you.
shit. No one, I don't know.
He looks like you. He was your people.
And so this is
And I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit.
Ew, you're an Arab.
Oh, I used to be a
Ew, Arab.
all of that shit.
it's a
All of that shit, put it on side.
when it comes to
I'm a living being.
I mean, I wouldn't call us aggressive. Well, I mean, maybe I should be a little bit more aggressive then, because at the end of the day, I'm just feeling like y'all getting a little soft, and I'm just keeping it real. I mean, I smoked a lot of weed this morning, but still, like, I think it's facts.
Nah, that's not bad.
No, I really love Arab. I really love Arabs. I was just
I
saying.
love Muslim religion though, but
I love an Arab.
I don't care, man. I don't care, you know.
I was just trolling.
I'm like $500 short of being sold from Arab, so let me shut
I date Arabs. I date the rich gas station owners. I felt with a cute Arab with a rag on his head. A rich boy.
Okay, listen, before this, I'm $500 away from being from some Arab, so let's just tone that down a little bit.
That's it.
I got a couple Arabs in my phone right now.
Listen, Arab said,
Thank you. Cause what the fuck?
what the fuck, that was funny. Tony.
Oh, can you let me back up, please?
Benji.
Yes.
The game continues. What did he just say? He's like, the game continues. What was that we were saying, Benji? That was fucking crazy. My fingers twitching.
You're right, White Peach. He is the creator, sustainer of the universe. Everything is God. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Oh yeah, can I just tell you guys really quick what I think just figure out my theory on what I believe God is now.
God is the creator, the Alpha and the Omega. But go
Can
ahead.
I tell you guys what I think it is?
Sure.
What I think it is? I think I was looking at the map of the solar system, and I was looking at how the planets revolve around the sun, and I was thinking that our God is the sun because he gives us our warmth, he gives us everything we need. Like vitamin D comes from the sun. And also, once the sun diminishes or extinguishes, we're done. So the sun in the sky, no, well, listen, because in my Aztec culture, we used to believe the sun was a god, and even the Egyptians believed it.
All the ancient religions did, because that's the Lucifer.
Right.
He went around the world and told people the cross represented the sun.
But logically speaking, the sun makes a lot of sense. That makes more sense than anything because the sun gives us everything we need. We came from the sun. The sun is an immense ball of energy. That's what God is. We feel the sun rays on our skin. We see plants grow and thrive in the sunlight. We know that the sun is, sometimes it's good for us with vitamin D. So everything comes from the sun. And so when I think the analogy, when they say sun, I think they get it confused with actually being his son, but God is the sun.
Well, do you think
Genesis 1:14 through 19, God creates the sun, moon, and the stars on the fourth day of creation, specifying the sun is a creator light, but it is not God. God is the creator. God tells the sun when to rise or when to go to sleep. Amen. And tells the moon when to come. So yeah, the sun is so Lucifer went throughout the world and told people that the sun god, the cross represents the sun. If you look at the Ankh, the god of the sun, Ra, and all the ancient civilization suns, they all.
But what do you think
crosses.
about the Jews? What do the Jews say about the moon?
Oh no, my brother. I'm talking about Christianity. I am a Christian. I am an Orthodox Christian. I'm not a Baptist, not Pentecostal. I believe in the Word of God. So that's what I'm talking about. The first and second part, amen. So yeah, God created the sun just like God named every star, amen, that we see. So the creator cannot be the creation. God is the Alpha and Omega. He lives in everything that is earth. Us, the trees, and all that, apart from the world.
Was Jesus Jewish?
He was also rejected by his people. Amen. He was rejected.
The Jewish people rejected a Jew? That's impossible.
The Jewish people.
Jews don't reject Jews. Jews support those that support Torah.
The Jews that are here now are not the original Jews, the Ashkenazi, whatever y'all call each other, your grandma.
You said Ashkenazi?
Whatever it's called.
No, y'all didn't make nothing.
Them Ashkenazi Jews and them Israels.
I ain't never said.
I don't know how to pronounce it. My grandma was
I tell you what, so what you really got to watch out for is those Christians. You know what I'm saying?
You can't feel sorry for the Jews right now, y'all.
And the Islam.
no, that was their blessing. Y'all keep forgetting. The book talks about it. The synagogue of Satan, Jewish people, not the Jews. If I tell you to get me a blue dress, you better not come with a bluish dress. It's about semantics. Listen.
What is the Jewish synagogue of Satan?
Look in the Bible. Look in Revelations, baby.
A lot of things that they be talking
What
about.
does it say?
God damn, y'all are fucking crazy as fuck.
Jesus! We're just talking about the Jews who didn't accept Jesus. But I said if you don't accept the Jews, and the Jews support the Torah, then you're rejecting the Torah.
That's why Judaism was supposed to be a dead religion after the coming of Christ, the first coming. These fake Jews now, these are part of the synagogue of Satan. The Bible talks about them.
But who are the fake Jews?
We were meant to rule the world, media. For me, that's why Drake is super popular. We got, Clive Davis, people in the news, Turner Network.
So Drake and Clive Davis are the messiahs?
The Vanderbilts, the Rothschilds, we come from very old money for a reason. That was our curse. Understand?
This shit is
Our curse
gold.
was money.
This shit is gold.
Nah, it's not money. Ruling the world.
However,
The Arabs have money. The Arabs curse to get money. That was their curse, the Arabs.
It was the power over the control.
we are so wealthy. We're cursed.
No, they're so
The Arabs was supposed to get a lot of money. The Jewish people were meant to
I can't understand you because then you keep talking at the same time as you have no idea what you're saying. You keep fumbling on the mic.
Power and take over the world. When people already have money, that's the next thing. Power.
Yo, Jack, tell me to stop this. I can't hear what you're saying. Tell us, Jack.
So the Arabs curse was money, lots of money, but that was
You mean the Arabs?
not the curse, but I guess a blessing. I don't know if it's a blessing or curse, but they were supposed to inherit a lot of money, like riches. The Jewish synagogue of Satan, they were meant to control the world media, Turner Network, the Vanderbilts, the Rothschilds, money, the money in the world. They control the money.
But how do you know though that the New Testament wasn't written by the devil, and maybe the Jews are the true Jews, the ones that believe in the Old Testament, right?
No.
That's what somebody from the synagogue of Satan would say. Sir, you've got Jewish derangement syndrome.
My grandmother is Jewish, so this is my lineage.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yashikol Rebbeinu Shalom.
I can't really speak on the Bible, but I was speaking about God being the Son, and so all I was saying was that sometimes, like Adam, I think that they were trying to explain to them that we're Adams, but it could just be all.
Yeah, what are you talking about, sir? Are you drunk? It's like 12 in the morning.
You just showed up, bro, and you don't know what the fuck we talking about.
You're late to the conversation.
You just showed up late. We already were having.
Just listen for 5 minutes before you start opinionating, sir.
Thank you. So all I'm saying is that I was feeling like that God is the sun because if the sun's a star, and once it extinguishes, we're gonna be done. We're gonna be done because we need it. We need the sun. So I just feel like God is the sun.
What? What?
The topic is what is God?
It's the sun? Doesn't God generally mean something like a gentle that thinks? Do you think the sun's thinking?
God tells the sun what to think, what to do.
No, she said she thinks God is the sun. That's what
Yeah, I know. I'm telling my sister that God tells the sun.
Right. And I was just sharing my perspective. And
Jack, stop it. That's the sin you believe. God is the sun.
Wrong. It's actually,
God is the chemical reaction. This is what God is.
God is the consciousness.
First of all, counteractive to what the conversation is, we all have our own opinions. You don't have to push yours.
I'm not making fun of that.
No, I'm not making fun of you.
Hold on. You didn't make fun of me, but I just wanted to point out the fact that just because you don't believe in what I believe in doesn't mean you have to.
I'm just trying to understand it. So, like,
I know.
Let's have some decorum. No questions. Please hold all questions to the end. Let these beautiful goddesses get their truth out. Go ahead. 60
I love you,
seconds.
Comedy. I love you, darling. But listen, he's nice. So do you think the stars and all that are angels or other celestial beings?
No. I just believe that the sun might be. From what the download that I received was that the energy that it takes for the sun, right? All of this energy that the ball of fire has, that produces, gives us everything that we need, right? Like I said earlier, vitamin D. It gives us,
cancer.
What about the rest of the planets, though? The sun doesn't provide for them. Who provides for them?
Well, we rotate around the sun, you know what I'm saying? So when we rotate around the sun, then once the sun is diminishes or it just goes out, right? The sun, stars do go out. Basically, we're done.
So they don't just go out; they kind of explode.
Who are the crackers in the room? Also,
who are the crackers in this room? Benji and AB.
I actually took school. So. Anyway, my theory was just saying that all this energy that we get comes from the sun, and that's like.
What happened? I'm gonna help you out.
Hold on, sir. While I'm still talking, it's crazy to me, sir.
Black holes.
Sir, but.
I said the wrong word. I gotta make sure I don't tell you wrong.
Please mute your mic, Dr. Roland, and give these goddesses the respect they deserve and give them 60 seconds. Thank you. Go ahead, ladies.
And then they become a black hole after they implode because of all the density of their mass collapsing on themselves.
You're arrogant for no reason.
Let them get their philosophy off, Dr. Roland, please.
And then the black hole crushes all things inside it and light becoming infinitely more dense.
But it's supposed to be destroyed with fire this time.
Yeah, but if it's coming out to be a fiery death thing, it would be
No, but that's how the end of the world is supposed to happen again.
By whose standard? Who says that?
Oh gosh, I'm not even entertaining your flow, your
folly. Don't look for a deep conversation here. Cindy thinks the sun is God and the stars are angels.
Yo, what's up, man? Down. God bless.
Hey, bro. God bless you.
Yo, how are you, my brother?
I'm good, man. Who's asking about you? Who's asking about you?
I'm gonna put you into a private.
Damn, no, don't talk anymore.
So, Dr. Roland, what is your theory for everything?
Yeah, comedy. I think you're an idiot, man. I don't get you.
Why are you so arrogant, bro?
Jeez, you're an authoritarian calling people idiots. That's not even nice conversation for a Saturday afternoon. You're mean. You're a meanie. You're a meanie. You're mean. You're a meanie. You're mean. He's a bully, everybody. Take note. This is how bullies talk to people.
MD5X3.
Big bully.
Interesting name.
He's a big bully.
Why are you bullying him?
Bully. Bullying. He's a bully. Been like this his whole life, on the playground, in the kitchen, in the living room, in the bedroom, and you're gonna take him seriously as if he knows something? This man is a clown. Just listen to the bullying tactics that he employs in his conversation.
Oh yeah, I heard it. I've seen it.
It's disrespectful. It shows a lack of self-confidence, and it's not a healthy ego. This man is in need of help.
You need to be humble, sir.
That's right. Humility. Awe. 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 Oh! Oh! Oh!
You all have things to work on, and at the end of the day, though, you were a little too arrogant.
Arrogance before the fall. Oh!
Arrogance and confidence, you guys.
One is proud and one is true.
Yo, Cindy, I'm looking at the Instagram right now. Your eyes are dead. It's like there's nothing going on behind them. What is that?
Yeah, I'm dead.
That's called projection, Roland. Are you depressed again? Did your girlfriend leave you?
It's like you're not thinking about anything.
Oh yeah,
It's weird.
there you go. That's why he's trolling again.
His girlfriend left him again. Are you sad, Dr. Roland?
No
Are you
thoughts thinking about
projecting?
suns and God and angel stars. This is wild.
It's called communication, and you don't like the words. You are a word racist, sir.
You're not the Cindy I know, but hey, Cindy, I'm gonna follow you, girl.
Okay. And I was like, wait.
Why does Dr. Roland always project negativity? Why isn't he a positive optimist and chooses to use positive words? Why, Dr. Roland?
Because he's got the PhD play hitting degree.
It's because he's got no humility. He's arrogant and he's a vain person. Vanity!
Are you rich, sir? Mr. Dr. Roland?
Am I rich?
Yeah, I want to substantiate your arrogance. Yeah.
Very.
Okay, then, yeah, well, listen, he's got money, so that's why he's probably dick. You know what I mean? He probably bites his ass with $100 bills. He probably wipes his ass with $100 bills. Like his toilet paper's like straight $100 bills. Huh?
Yeah, your Arab, aren't you?
I got A-Rap money.
Yeah, I know.
We got A-Rap money. A, we just hit. We just hit, girl. Shit. Feel me?
We were just talking about Arabs earlier.
You take the bottom, I take the top. You know what I'm saying?
We were talking about Arabs earlier. I love me a gas station owner
You feel me?
with a Ferrari.
Liquor store owner. What? Stop playing.
What?
Wishes on Dave, backwoods all the time. Man, what? Don't play with me. I'll get the first back.
Give me a nigga from
Ladies,
Ladies,
can you please possibly help Roland?
Saudi Arabia.
Ladies, please, can you help Roland understand what is God? Go ahead, ladies. Tell Roland what God is to you.
We were just showering him with compliments, sir.
Yeah, Benji, I'm not gonna lie. Wait, Benji, wave if you could hear me, because I know you don't talk anymore.
He can hear you, Dr. Roland.
Benji, I swear to God, man, I was sitting here, I zoned out for a second. It's like being in a sanitarium. Like the sounds that you hear, it's strange.
Dr. Benji, can you help us reveal to Dr. Roland your true identity as the observer? And tell Roland, do you want to tell us what is God?
Yes, Dr. Roland.
I'd go crazy like this, be like torture. Someone subjected me to this for like 3 days. I wouldn't let something.
Are you telling us a projection right now?
So sorry. Dr. Roland,
Dr. Roland,
we're still waiting. You were so quick. So
I'm waiting, Dr. Roland.
Dr. Roland looking like Wesley Snipes and Blade? Is that him?
Hello, Dr. Roland.
Dr. Roland. He's been.
Hello, Dr. Roland. I've been patiently waiting. Dr. Roland. Hello.
He left.
Apparently, his central cortex couldn't understand what we were trying to tell Dr. Roland.
I'll be back.
Welcome back to the Longmont Potion Castle Prank Hour, where we are helping people answer the difficult questions.
Crash out, can you open a room? This guy's an idiot. Can you open a room so we can talk about,
Go ahead, T.A. Crash Out. Open up the room for T.A. Seneca.
Thank you for that, Benji. I appreciate it. Because, you know, in Nigeria, they used to say empty vessels make the most noise.
You confidently just gotta know when to turn it off and turn it on. I'm trying to still teach him it. But he'll probably learn, so. Well, go ahead, say what you.
Thank you, Benji. And this is my second time meeting you. I should follow you. Because you have an interesting concept to your room. I like the Saw version of your room. The Saw game kind of concept. I've learned to appreciate that.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to what you said. Hold on, Cindy, please don't talk right now. Hold on, please. What you said, brother, I was
I like the Saw game concept of your room.
You like to play games.
Oh, thank you, I appreciate it. What you like about it?
No, I appreciate the setting up social experiments, because I used to do that too. To see how people react to things and to kind of either prove or disprove your thesis about people.
The game continues.
Yeah, comedy. You gotta know when to turn it off, man.
Yes, that shit, the game continues. That shit was fucking with me for a whole
week. Just mess up I need my game to continue. I don't need you to sit here and mess up my
so
game.
What type of social experiments are you talking about, Dr. Seneca?
Yeah, he doesn't listen. He'll learn one day. Yeah, but yeah, man, I'm just a quiet observer. Just sit back and let people do what they do.
Yeah, that's talking.
A crash course.
In fact, I'm learning about myself through other people again. I'm like relearning myself. Things I learned about myself before, I'm relearning it again this season.
Fascinating. Yeah, I learn a lot about people. That's why I'm so quiet and so observant. I know a lot about people. Just let them do what they do.
Where's Cindy? If Cindy and Crash Out left.
Yeah, because the game hasn't started yet. Nobody is here yet. Conlon probably chased them away. Oh, you know what it is? The Talking Apes room opened. Oh, okay. Yeah, so we all congregate there sometimes. But I followed you, and I'm gonna keep in line with your rooms. And of course, I'm always here. Yeah, it's very insightful. At first, I didn't understand it, and like most human beings, I was compelled to place a negative label on something I didn't understand. Because that's what we typically do as human beings. That's what I've learned.
No, that's what you do, T.A. Seneca. That's why you go to the Talking Ape room every day.
You can't even, I wouldn't even mind if you sit up here and talk at your regular voice and enter the game, man. You enter the game and it doesn't bother me. People don't understand. You know what you were saying? Yeah. So I'm saying, I wouldn't see, and now I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, I don't mind him. People like him, I don't mind him stepping up, but you gotta know when to turn it off, turn it on. He's just one of them confused people in the game. I really have nothing to say to. It's very insightful. Self-awareness is also being situationally aware. I didn't understand surroundings. And like most human beings, you understand that the room is calm inside. I was compelled to place a negative label on something I didn't understand. He's like probably just not aware. Like he would have his regular voice and do whatever he feels in the game. But he decides to do that. The game is no longer entertaining. He made his choice. He chose to die. So there it goes. That's interesting. I'm reading a lot about Seneca. Are you familiar with Seneca, Benji? I just observe it. I just observe what you're about to tell me about it, though. Okay. So Seneca was an advisor to many dignitaries in ancient Rome. I'm just going to keep it short and tell you the main piece about his history. So there was a time when there was a coup against being set up against the worst, the most vicious emperor in ancient Rome. People talk about Hitler, but Nero killed so many more people than Hitler. Okay, and he would kill anybody that would even whisper an opposing argument against him. Would be dead. And so they sought to overthrow him for rightful reason, right? Because he was killing so many people. And the group of people that were setting this up, their idea was that they were going to put this guy Seneca, once they finished with the coup, once they overthrew Nero and killed him. Okay, but unfortunately Nero found out, and he killed every single one of the people that tried to set up the coup, including Seneca, who was a former advisor of Nero, and actually taught Nero from the time he was a child. Even though Seneca had nothing to do with the coup. Yeah, I think JCC wants to respond to something you said, so. Sure.
I think it's not a good comparison based on why Nero killed Hitler, killed the masses of people Hitler killed. Hitler deemed the people that he was killing like not humans, subhuman, right? So it was a prejudicial hate crime versus where you were saying this individual killed people to either protect himself or those who opposed him. There was a different kind of rationale, reasoning behind the killing, even though they're both bad. I just think what Hitler did is far worse than what Nero did. How many?
This is like should be called the therapist brain call show.
I agree. I completely agree.
Hi, everybody. I'm starting a new television show I'd like to let you all know about. It's called Prank Calling My Therapist, and I want to thank you all for participating.
He kicked me. He kicked me. Oh, my God. That was funny. That was like that's like the final reframe, the final joke to tell them that they're on a hotline for Jewish derangement syndrome. God, this episode just limitless,
like relate to
limitless
something
trolling.
or experience something. Those are things that maybe are outside of your personal experience. So it's like it's kind of hard to get somebody to always agree and understand with it. You know,
I do understand that. I don't agree with that. I think I do understand that you have a certain experience or upbringing that will be different to shake off. I totally understand that. 100% understand it without an inch of doubt. Like same goes for the Muslim. You're not special from the Muslim. The Muslim has the same thing. He's raised with a Muslim whatever. And then, some of them more than others struggle to change things. Whatever. I get that. There's nothing wrong with that. But it seems to me that you are asking for it. Why there's no Kitover. So,
I get what you're saying, but the thing is that like even like in the New Testament, it talks about Jew and Gentile, man and woman, all this stuff, so it's not like I don't think the view of it was that the Jews were simply like, let's just say all the Jews accepted Christianity, right? Instead of only a minority of them. So I don't think that you would call him St. Paul when he was writing a lot of these things. He obviously authored a lot of the New Testament. I don't think in his view that he saw necessarily the Jews as like disappearing, and that there would be a complete cultural mixing with the Gentiles. Like
yes, it
is.
Fully. Oh boy. Yes, it is.
I don't know that. I don't know that for a fact. Maybe he was okay with it. He might have maybe not have been against that. Like if somebody marries somebody that's a Jew who believes in Jesus, marries somebody that doesn't. But I don't know if he saw that as being like, you know what I'm saying?
Paul even called the Jews dogs. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but Paul was a Jew. He didn't stop. Look, put it this way. My point is, he didn't stop being Jewish because he became a believer in Jesus.
Well, the only Jewish thing you can do as a Jew is to believe in the Jewish Messiah.
No, I'm saying though, but he didn't so it's like you say that, but on the other hand, you almost infer that in a way he stopped being Jewish. I think it depends on how like you're approaching certain things. Sometimes I feel you'll say it's the whole Jewish thing, and then you'll kind of almost imply in other ways that he wasn't a Jew anymore, or that he thought that Jew didn't exist anymore.
Let me explain. Hold on. Yeah, hold on a second. Let me explain it so you can understand what I mean.
Just one quick question.
Paul, well, his name was Shaul. Remember that man?
Oh man.
He was a Pharisee. So you say Rabbi Shammai, he was a rabbi. He studied under Gamaliel. Okay? He was ultra orthodox, as orthodox as it gets. So yes, he's a Jew. He's Jewish. Okay. But then came Jesus, and after Jesus, there's no Jew and there's no Gentile, because the church is open to both. After the Jewish Messiah has come, the Jew is the one who follows him. So then, when there's Jews who didn't follow him, that is when he talks about Jews, that's what he's referring to. Because in the church, it's not just Jews, it's Jews and Gentiles. There's nothing called them. Exactly. So the Jews who rejected Jesus, those are no longer Jews, according to us.
Yeah, I know.
What I'm telling you is we are
Jews.
Yeah, we are Jews. We follow the Jewish Messiah. And as the prophets say, when the Messiah comes, then it's not just Jews, also the Gentiles will partake in his kingdom. Therefore, we are no longer Jews. That's why we're called Christians. Because you cannot call us, we are Jews, but we're not just Jews. Okay, so St. Paul is referring to the Jews as those who have, the Jews who call themselves Jews, but are not Jews because they've rejected the Messiah. Yeah, those people he calls them as dogs. So now when you say that he is a Jew, no, he's not. No, he's not a Jew.
What does your ethnicity?
Why does it matter what my ethnicity is?
Because you sound very interesting. Like I can't place you.
I'm Palestinian.
Oh yeah. Oh, interesting. Cool. You did a lot of study.
Of course, I do Torah. I study Torah every day. Now, the truth of the matter is, Paul himself, you cannot call him to be a Jew according to the Jewish understanding of what a Jew is. You cannot call him a Jew.
Well, once a Jew, always a Jew.
Yeah, that's retarded. That contradicts the words, because it contradicts the words of Moses.
But it's special to Judaism that you can't leave.
Yeah, I disagree with that. If you can't leave, then how come did Moses kick you?
Where in the Torah does it say that you could leave Judaism?
People who don't do Shabbos can be killed spiritually. Some people might believe otherwise. They will be cut off from the people. You can find
but that doesn't mean they cease to be Jewish.
Well, what does it mean to be cut off from the people?
Karis means that one is cut off from existence. It doesn't mean they're not Jewish.
That's not true. Can you go to the book of Numbers, the second census? Can you compare the second census of Israel with the first one?
But if you're cut off, how are you Jewish?
Exactly. If you're cut off, you're no longer Jewish. Exactly. You're excommunicated.
Yes, but as long as one is alive, they're Jewish. So as long as Paul
If you're cut off from Israel, you're not a part of the community. You're out.
Exactly. You're no longer a Jew.
But that has to be carried out. The Torah says it has to be carried out by beast then.
No, wait, what?
The Torah says that it has to be the judgments of Karis.
Really quick. So if you're in America, you claim you're Jewish, and you don't keep Shabbat, you're not a part of us as a people. You're something else. You're going.
Exactly. You're not a Jew. Exactly.
But that's not Judaism. Judaism says that for Karis,
That's
Deraisa for Karis to be carried out, it has to be carried out by beast.
Bro, shut the fuck up. Bro, you're bullshitting yourself, okay? If you go and sleep with a boy, you're in court. You don't need a base dip for
No, you need to eat them. You need to eat them. You need Asara.
You're a liar.
That's what the Torah says. It says it right in the Torah. Al-Shnei Edom.
You think you're saying it the right way? You ain't saying nothing.
It literally says black and white in the Torah.
You don't need a base dip. Okay? You're cut off from your mind.
You do need a beast, and the Torah says that. It's right.
You don't know what the Torah is.
It's right in Leviticus that Al-Shnei Al-Pi Shnei Edom Yaakov Davar.
That's why I like Black Rabbi, because Black Rabbi is he's telling you exactly as it is. If you don't do Shabbos, you're not a Jew. Moshe made it very clear, dude. He made it very clear.
No, this morning is trying to say, oh, you need a base dip to prove that you don't keep. No, you don't need a base dip.
The Torah says Al-Pi Shnei Edom Yaakov Davar.
Yo, shut the fuck up. You don't need a base dip to be current. Stop lying to yourself.
You actually do. For Misa B'dei Shamayim, you don't, but for Misa B'dei Adam, you do. But we don't live in a time.
We're talking about in Shemayim, dickhead.
But we don't live in a time.
You're on Clubhouse right now. You're not a part of us. You're not a part of us. Whatever you want to tell yourself, you're not a part of us. Neither is this other guy. I don't care about your grandmother and how they lived in Israel and what they did in Israel and this and all, 200 years ago, 80 years ago. You're not a part of us.
There's a Jew.
You sound really angry. The Torah says, I'll be Shnei Edom
You don't know what the Torah is. You think you're saying it.
Why are you so angry, dude?
Because you're a freaking goy. That's why. You're a disgusting goy trying to talk about
I'm a descendant of
I've never heard Black Rabbi do things.
Bro, why are you guys on Clubhouse and Shabbos? How disgusting.
Because the Torah says not to be on Clubhouse on Shabbat. Shut the fuck up, bro. Black rabbi.
So it's not clear that like
Calm down. Calm down. Yo, calm down. Calm down, Muslim. Calm down, Muslim. Calm down, Muslim convert.
You're disgusting.
No, you're disgusting.
You have to be good to the conference now. Come on now.
Huh?
No.
No, fuck this guy, bro. He's a fucking scam artist, bro. He's a nigger scam artist is what he is. That's all you are. You're a fucking nigger. Is what you are.
You hear this guy?
Yeah, you're a nigger. You are. You're a nigger that fucking think that African Americans, you believe in Hebrew Israelite, that you guys are all the descendants, all the slaves, my ancestors. Shut the fuck up, bro. You're just a fucking. You're a Hebrew Israelite with like a little rabbinic veneer on you. So shut the fuck up and you're a fucking scam artist.
Wait. I'm a dying
You think you're gonna be the president of the United States in 4 fucking years?
I'm a dying in Israel. Where's your grandfather?
No, you're not.
Where's your father?
You fucking bitch.
Where's your father?
You are a fucking liar. You don't even know your father, so shut the.
Who's your grandfather? Where are they?
Alright, can I tell you
A bunch
something,
of
Chris?
losers.
I mean, I agree with Nair.
A bunch
I
of
agree with Nair.
losers.
You are a scam.
He's a scam artist, though. That's all.
Bunch of
He's a
losers.
scam
You're a fucking scam
Bunch
artist.
of losers.
Okay, he is a scam artist, but can we agree that when it comes to Shabbos, he is right. That if you can stop being a Jew. Can we agree?
well, with using a phone, electricity
You
is
are a
not.
goy, bro. You have no nucleus. You're a goy.
No, I agree. I disagree with what he believes to be. You need to keep Shabbos. I don't believe that
He's
being
a
on
goy.
Christmas is not.
These are fake Jews. They're not.
There's a focus between Rosh Hashanah or Bath and the Chazon Ish.
I agree that being on Craig House isn't a violation of Shabbos. That's my point. But can you agree and admit that you can stop being a Jew according to Moshe? Forget how Shabbos is kept.
No, I disagree, but I have to leave. I'll talk to you later.
I'm okay to disagree.
Get out of here, goy. Get out of here, goy. You're a goy.
I'll explain later.
You're a goy. Get out of here. You're disgrace. Get out of here. You're disgusting.
Wait, it's not Shabbos yet, Black Rabbi. It's still not dark.
Bro, these people are goyim, bro. I don't care. They talk about their ancestry. We grew up in their goyim, mama. The neshama, goyim. That's what they are.
But I don't think Sydney, yes.
They're goyim.
Nah, I
They
think
by the neshama. They're goyim.
no, I think Nair is a Jew. I think Nair is a Jew.
It doesn't matter. You're not a Jew if you're on the Clubhouse for Shabbos. You're not a Jew.
But it's not. I disagree with that. I personally disagree with that. I don't think that's what Shabbos is about.
I know you don't, because you're a goy too. You're a goy too.
No, motherfucker, I know the Torah more than you.
You're a goy, mama. You're a goy too. All you guys are goyim. All of you.
Oh man. Here we go. We're all goyim because he doesn't understand Torah. Where did he go? Did he run away? Where did he go?
I don't know. Fuck him. I can't fucking stand that guy anymore, bro. He thinks he's all high and mighty. He converts to Judaism a couple years ago, supposedly. The biggest fucking scam artist on this fucking app. Talks about how he's gonna be the president in a couple years. Believes in black Hebrew Israelite. Like half the shit that they fucking believe in, including that he thinks that all the black people in the West are fucking Israelites, and this motherfucker is gonna talk about the Jews. The fuck out of here,
Jacob is black.
talking about. And I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. There's a lot of rabbis that argue about, like certain things, like listening to music or phone on the Sabbath and stuff. He thinks that that's like the most important thing, as opposed to like all the serious stuff, like not working or doing transactions or traveling and all these. Like I don't do any of that.
Yeah, but you see, well, I mean, it's not Shabbos yet, but well, actually, where'd it go?
It is Shabbat.
Nigga, I don't know why. I thought it's Friday.
No, it is Shabbat. And don't get me wrong. Yeah, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of Shabbatot that I almost never touch my phone, but sometimes I do. But I think in comparison, phone didn't fucking exist 3,000 years ago. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have different definitions of this and the usage of electricity and all this shit. Like, this is like splitting hairs. You know what I'm saying?
But you see what I was done is like leading by the letter, not by the legalism is an issue.
Yeah.
Because it's not living by the spirit of the Torah, like they said, that you shall not do work. Profit shouldn't be on your mind.
Yeah, exactly. Man, you know, I'm not trying to make myself sound all high and mighty either, but all the obvious stuff I don't do. I don't do any of that. You know, for the most part, I stay home. Unless sometimes I go to the Knesset or whatever, but you know, he's making it like he knows everything.
I'm not gonna lie, I do enjoy bullying Jews over this. Like, I would go to Jews and tell them, why don't you keep Shabbat? I'm gonna keep my eye, like Jeff. Next time I see Jeff, I'm gonna call him out for being on Shabbat. But
hey, you know what, Rabbi, don't get me wrong, he's right about certain things, but he's been getting all, you know, he wants to figure like a guy that's like a newcomer, and he wants to judge all these people. You know what I'm saying? He's a fucking hypocrite, bro. And he's just all he's a fucking.
You called him a nigger.
I had to do it, bro. Fuck it. I had to do it. Oh no, bro. And on top of it, you know, one of the only reasons I do that too is because I'm sorry, bro. He tries to make it like he's all, you know, ecumenical with all, like, not just religions, but people with different backgrounds and colors. He talks so much shit about non-black people and about white people and stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? I listen to him long enough, and it's just like, what are you? It's like, then what are you, bro? You're like, you're sitting here thinking that all the original Jews are fucking black. You're making this like a black and white, like a race thing, like a U.S. fucking Western-based black and white fucking bullshit narrative. Like, fuck it, bro. I'm gonna say some shit to you, bro. You know,
he's a black people.
They like to dish it, bro. They like to dish it out, but when you give it back to them, you drop the N-word. You're like the biggest fucking. You're like the worst thing on planet Earth, bro.
No, he doesn't care. He doesn't.
Yeah, I don't like doing that, by the way. I don't really take pleasure in that, but sometimes people gotta hear it.
Yeah, I know people do have to hear it, but he doesn't care. Me personally, I told him a nigger a million times. I told him a nigger a million times because he said, if you don't know the Torah, you're a nigger. So I told him you're a nigger. I told him you're a nigger. He doesn't know Torah. But yeah, I agree with you, man. He is a black Hebrew Israelite type of Jason. It is obviously a scam, obviously. But I do, and I also disagree with him. I don't think we go Cookhouse breaks Shabbos. I don't care what the rabbis say. I don't think it breaks Shabbos. However, I do disagree with, I don't know your stance personally, but the other guy, the other year, I disagree with him. Yeah, you can't stop being a Jew. If you go against Moshe, you stop being a Jew, period. That's why the children of Torah. Alright, talking something.
Yeah, there is. Well, you know, I'll tell you in Jewish halakha, there's like a status. It's called you know, that applies to most, you know, heresies, and it's called Yisrael Me'umah. And what Yisrael Me'umah is that, like, for people that commit like a lot of the things that would be, you know, heretical or, you know, put you in some type of excommunication, but you still kind of have like the, you know, I guess you have like a baseline, you know, maybe because you were originally born into it, and, you know, maybe you could repent from it. And obviously today, for a long time, people are not, you know, getting literal capital punishment for the crimes that you could potentially get it for. That, you know, the hope is that somebody could you know, maybe one day change their mind and return if they're accepted. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like this. It's almost like a limbo status. You know?
Isn't it called Sharem?
What's that?
Isn't it Sharem?
I don't know if I know that term.
Cherem.
Herem, yeah. Herem is. Yeah, herem is. It almost comes from like the same root as like haram in Arabic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's excommunication.
So herem is like, yeah, that's like an excommunication basically. But herem is no, but herem is not always necessarily like 100% permanent. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, somebody could be in herem and then, you know, they repent or whatever, they make amends, and, you know, they could be reaccepted. You know?
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, not necessarily without social ramifications, but like, you know, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, and public repentance and all of that.
They can maybe go join another. Sometimes they might go join another community. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, that I disagree with.
Well, no, I'm just saying. But no, the thing is that like you have to understand the context, but which bit and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like people are living apart from each other. They may go join, but a lot of times like they'll investigate this person. They'll see. They want to know. Who are you? What's your background? Who was your teacher? What was your standing in the community? Like a lot of this becomes people like to know these kind of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know why people like these things.
I mean, not always. I'm saying it depends on the community. It's not some maybe are not doing that, but some are definitely they want to know about. Who is this person? Who is this newcomer? Who do you know? Kind of thing.
Yeah, they're all like that. Those are always like that. Those are always.
Not always. No, I wouldn't say always, but they I mean, it's not the worst. It's not the worst thing in the world because that's the thing. When you're dealing with somebody, you don't always know who you're dealing with. But sometimes there could be somebody that they know that could give you, and of course they could be biased, but they could give you maybe some background information for somebody to consider, as they approach somebody that they don't know. So it could work. Listen, it could work for the good. It could work for the bad. Obviously, there's pros and cons.
I mean, I would agree with that. But my only contention is, I don't even know your opinion. My only contention with the other guy, Sydney, is that he believes Jews can't stop being Jews. And I think they can. And I agree. However,
it depends on the community. It's not just something maybe.
For example, like again, that is a concept. The word haram comes from Talmud. I don't go by Talmud. In the Torah, it's very clear that Moshe kicked people out of the camp. He literally kicked them out of the camp. What does that mean?
Yeah, that they were excommunicated, that they were given the boot. Yeah.
Exactly, and it was permanent. That's why I keep going back to the children of Korah, because it's the same. The children of Korah they did not receive an inheritance. They're no longer considered Israelites. They're done. They're out. That's why they literally had to do the census again without the children of Korah. And I forgot how many they were. They weren't many. They weren't that many, but I forgot how many they were. But they are no longer considered Jews. So if you're a Jew, you can stop being a Jew. Yes, you can. And it's not up to you. Basically, that's how it was. These guys were kicked. It's not that they didn't want to. They wanted to stay. So, yes, I disagree with that. You see, and you know the issue there? Yeah. The Jews today, many of them, like Sydney, believe that, no, you can't stop being a Jew. Because they believe Jew is something I am. And that's it. I'm born a Jew, I die a Jew. But that's not what it is. You can't be a Muslim Jew. That's not how it works. If you're a Muslim, you're no longer a Jew.
You know what? There's something. Bro, it's like there's something in, I don't know how to quite put my finger on it. There's not always like a great way to fully express it in words, but like it's kind of like I'm trying to think in my head before I say it so it doesn't sound off or it's not like an apple for an apple, but it's kind of like what I was saying in some sense, like what I was asking on, but it was like a thought experiment. Like, so if Israeli Jews woke up in the morning and they were now Orthodox Christians, there would still be this,
you know the issue?
Again, there's maybe not a word that fully, like describes it, but I'm just going to use basic terminologies like a cultural, national, ethnic, like you get where I'm going with that type of language and stuff, to sort of describe a lot of the stuff that is part of their, maybe you could say it was once maybe more faith or religious based, but also becomes part of who you are as a people and the culture and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
And it's just like, so it's like it's like you either assimilate to a whole new culture that you weren't like a part of, or if there is a large enough community, you stay within that cultural element. But in this case, in this thought experiment, they're practicing Orthodox Christianity instead of the other religion.
But my issue with this is, how is this any different from what I have? Like, okay, let's say I'm Orthodox. I want to convert to Judaism, let's say.
So wait, so say it again. That repeat your last line.
Because you are looking at it as Jewish Israelis converting to Orthodoxy. I'm telling you, how is that different from an Orthodox Christian Palestinian converting to Judaism?
Well, because the thing is that if an Orthodox Christian Palestinian converts to Judaism, he is going to assimilate into this new community and stuff. There's going to be, not necessarily, if his family rejects him, they reject him, or they, putting that aside, he's going to marry somebody that's Jewish. He's going to raise his kids as Jewish. He's going to join a new community that he wasn't really a part of, and he's going to sort of naturalize into that culture. You get what I'm saying? Okay, but when you have like an entire, I'm just saying, in this thought experiment, if you have like an entire like group of people that are still marrying amongst themselves for the most part, and they have a sort of a cultural, ethnic, national, whatever identity. In this case, even tied to a country, but the main thing, and it's a big thing, but the main thing that changes their religion and stuff, then you can't really strip, even if you don't like necessarily like the term with Jewish or whatever, you know what I'm saying, for this instance, you can't really strip that type of I'm just gonna call it a Jewish identity from them, because it's something that's part and parcel of who they are culturally.
Yeah, but I think this is the thing because look, we have the same thing. I only marry Orthodox. So
okay,
it's different. It's the same thing. I don't see why you think that the Palestinian Orthodox would assimilate, whereas the Jew cannot assimilate. But we have the same exact thing. We have exactly the same thing. We have our Orthodox culture. The culture is part of who I am and will not change. We've been going thousands of years. It's the same thing, same exact thing. The only difference is it's on an ethnicity.
Yeah.
However, we have ethnic, just like you have Jews. You have Jews.
Well, I mean, you have ethnic churches based on different. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that now, like for example, that's what I'm saying. And Jeff was touching on that a little bit and stuff before he was put down or whatever. But like, even like Jews from around different areas of the world, the different, what they would call diaspora groups. Of course, there's a lot of differences, and they've been influenced, heavily, and they mixed with the cultures of the countries that they've lived in. But there's also like a lot of common ties and things that they have. Like there was a sense, and it varied and stuff. Like the nation state thing is something that's more, for most cultures, that's more of a as we understand it today, is more of a modern understanding, a modern application of peoplehood. But there was a sense of peoplehood and stuff. Not that, like a Polish Jew is, I'm an ethnic Pole practicing Judaism. Nobody thought like that. And that's not even what they were genetically. Like,
do you actually believe that? See, I'm not sure I completely agree with that.
No, it's not, bro. The Polish, I'm just using them for an example. Polish Jews have almost no genetic connection with Polish Catholics.
Of course, Catholics.
They're a completely separate ethnic group. They didn't even speak. Most of them didn't even speak the language. They spoke Yiddish.
Yeah, no, I get that. Catholics don't marry Jews. It makes sense that they're not intermarried. I mean, but I still don't see how that's different. I don't think the Jews ever had that Zionist philosophy that we are a nation like all the nations. The Jews never had that. This is a new creation.
My bad. Hang on the phone for 1 second.
Go what?
Hello, Rabbi. Rabbi Shalom, good Shabbos. I've got a question. I need your help, Dr. Rabbi. What should I do? I'm hungry, and I'm contemplating going to get a cheeseburger for lunch. It's not kosher, and it's Shabbos. What should I do?
I would suggest you eat my ass.
Really?
It is at least kosher.
Are you Jewish?
Yes, I am.
Do you support those that support Torah?
Yes, I do.
So what are you going to do the rest of the day, Dr. Rabbi?
I'm gonna meditate on God's ordinances, and then I'm gonna go smoke weed, and then I'm probably gonna go hit the strip club.
Wow. Rabbi Shalom.
What are you gonna do?
I'm about to rip a giant fart and then upload a video of you talking.
Oh, that's amazing. I have no problem with that.
Oh, I know. I know.
Yeah, I just chopped up that whole conversation between you and that other guy and put it on YouTube. Here's a quick preview.
The black the culture is going to who I am, will not change. We've been going thousands of years. It's the same thing, same exact thing. Well, do you have the black rabbi? The only difference is it's on an ethnicity. Yeah. However, we have ethnic just like you have Jews. You have Jews.
Well, I mean, you have ethnic churches based on different. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that now, like for example, that's what I'm saying. And Jeff was touching on that a little bit stuff before he was put down or whatever. But even Jews from around different areas of the world, the different, what they would call diaspora groups. Of course, there's a lot of differences, and they've been influenced, heavily, and they mix with the cultures of the countries that they've lived in. But there's also a lot of common ties and things that they have. There was a sense, and it varied and stuff.
So the thing is, I'm labeling all these as prank calls.
But do you have Black Rabbi?
Yeah, I just recorded Black Rabbi as well.
Yeah, but that's what I need. Can you send that to me?
Let me see.
When he talks about Jews, that's what he's referring to. Because in the church, it's not just Jews, it's Jews and Gentiles. No, that's not. Exactly.
The community, you're done. You're out.
Exactly. You're no longer a Jew.
It has to be carried out. The Torah says it has to be carried out by beast then.
Go back and look at it. What?
The Torah says that it has to be the judgments of curries.
Really quick. So if you're in America, you claim you're Jewish and you don't keep Shabbat, you're not a part of us as a people. You're something else. You're a boy.
Exactly. You're not a Jew. Exactly.
But that's not Judaism. Judaism says that for curries.
That's Parisa. That's
Deraisa for curries have to be carried out by beast.
Bro, shut the fuck up. Bro, you're bullshitting yourself, okay? If you go to sleep with a boy, you're a court. You don't need a beast in for
No, you need to eat them. You need to eat them. You need asara.
You're a liar.
That's what the Torah says. It says it right in the Torah.
Part of the community, you're done. You're out.
Exactly. You're no longer a Jew.
But it has to be carried out. The Torah says it has to be carried out by beast then.
No, wait, what?
The Torah says that it has to be the judgments of curries.
Really quick. So if you're in America, you claim you're Jewish and you don't keep Shabbat, you're not a part of us as a people. You're something else. You're a boy.
Exactly. You're not a Jew. Exactly.
But that's not Judaism. Judaism says that for curries.
That's Parisa. That's
Deraisa for curries to be carried out. It has to be carried out by beast.
Bro, shut the fuck up. Bro, you're bullshitting yourself, okay? If you go to sleep with a boy, you're a court. You don't need a beast in for
No, you need to eat them. You need to eat them. You need asara.
You're a liar.
That's what the Torah says. It says it right in the Torah.
Part of the community, you're done. You're out.
Exactly. You're no longer a Jew.
But it has to be carried out. The Torah says it has to be carried out by beast then.
No, wait, what?
The Torah says that it has to be the judgments of curries.
Really quick. So if you're in America, you claim you're Jewish and you don't keep Shabbat, You're not a part of us as a people. You're something else. You're a boy.
Exactly. They're not a Jew. Exactly. But that's not Judaism. Judaism says that for Kari's
That's Parisa.
Deraisa, for Kari's to be carried out, it has to be carried out by beast.
Bro, shut the fuck up. Bro, you're bullshitting yourself, okay? If you go to sleep with a boy, you're in court. You don't need a beast in for
No, you need to eat them. You need to eat them. You need asara.
You're a liar.
That's what the Torah says. It says it right in the Torah.
Part of the community, you're done. You're out.
Exactly. You're no longer a Jew. But it has to be carried out. The Torah says it has to be carried out by beast then. No, wait, what? The Torah says that it has to be the judgments of Karis.
Really quick. So if you're in America, you claim you're Jewish and you don't keep Shabbat, you're not a part of us as a people. You're something else. You're a boy.
Exactly. You're not a Jew. Exactly. That's not Judaism. Judaism says that for Karis.
That's Parisa.
Deraisa, for Karis to be carried out, it has to be carried out by beast.
Bro, shut the fuck up. Bro, you're bullshitting yourself, okay? If you go to sleep with a boy, you're in court. You don't need a beast in for
No, you need to eat them. You need to eat them. You need asara.
You're a liar.
That's what the Torah says. It says it right in the Torah.
Part of the community, you're done. You're out.
Exactly. You're no longer a Jew. But it has to be carried out. The Torah says it has to be carried out by beast then. No, wait, what?
Bro,
the Torah says that it has to be the judgments of Karis.
Really quick. So if you're in America, you claim you're Jewish and you don't keep Shabbat, you're not a part of us as a people. You're something else. You're a boy.
Exactly. You're not a Jew. Exactly. But that's not Judaism. Judaism says that for Karis.
That's Parisa.
Deraisa, for Karis to be carried out, it has to be carried out by beast.
Bro, shut the fuck up. Bro, you're bullshitting yourself, okay? If you go to sleep with a boy, you're in court. You don't need a beast in for
No, you need to eat them. You need to eat them. You need asara.
You're a liar.
That's what the Torah says. It says it right in the Torah.
Part of the community, you're done. You're out.
Exactly. You're no longer a Jew. But it has to be carried out. The Torah says it has to be carried out by beast then. No, wait, what?
Bro,
the Torah says that it has to be the judgments of Karis.
Really quick. So if you're in America, you claim you're Jewish and you don't keep Shabbat, you're not a part of us as a people. You're something else. You're a boy.
Exactly. You're not a Jew. Exactly. But that's not Judaism. Judaism says that for Karis.
That's Parisa.
Deraisa, for Karis to be carried out, it has to be carried out by beast.
Bro, shut the fuck up. Bro, you're bullshitting yourself, okay? If you go to sleep with a boy, you're in court. You don't need a beast in for
No, you need to eat them. You need to eat them. You need asara.
You're a liar.
That's what the Torah says. It says it right in the Torah.
Part of the community, you're done. You're out.
Exactly. You're no longer a Jew. But it has to be carried out. The Torah says it has to be carried out by beast then. No, wait, what?
Bro,
the Torah says that it has to be the judgments of Karis.
Really quick. So if you're in America, you claim you're Jewish and you don't keep Shabbat, you're not a part of us as a people. You're something.
And the game continues.